Hello beginner dragons, this is Mr. Van, and today is going to be the end of the 11th week. And today what we are going to be doing is a short warm-up in the beginning, and then we are going to talk about our physical and mental goal, and then we are going to be doing our second half of our I Don't Want You in Trouble. So first, our warm-up. So to get better at our slide up side kicks or side kicks in general, you have to practice your slide up side kicks or side kicks. So if you guys are struggling with the slide up part, so sliding, you take your back leg and you slide heel to heel with your legs, and the sliding leg is going to be pointing whatever way it came from. So if it's my left leg and it's coming from there, I have to point my toes that way. And if my leg's coming from that way, so if I'm using my left leg and I'm sliding it, my feet together, I want my toes to point that way. It's the same way this way. So if I'm coming from this direction, my toes have to point that direction. If my toes are coming from this direction, I have to come together and my toes have to be pointing that way. So yeah, that is how you do the slide up part. But now, that wasn't really the hard part of a slide up side kick. The hard part of a slide up side kick is the side kick itself. So we're gonna try and practice our slide up side kicks with practicing our side kicks. So for this warm up, you're just going to need a wall. So wall, whatever wall you want to use. You can even use like a table, a chair, just something that's stable enough so that you can put your hand on or hold on to, like a railing or something, and not fall over when you're doing this correctly. So we're going to just grab onto the wall, grab onto the railing, grab onto whatever, and we are going to be doing 5 slow side kicks. So we do these side kicks slowly because if you do them too fast, or you're not really thinking about it, you might miss a step. Like you might miss pulling it back and you might just put your foot down instead. You might miss your toes pointing that direction. You might miss where your head is going, where your hands are, stuff like that. So you want to make sure that this is slow so that you have time to process all the details that are needed to do a side kick. So grab onto the wall, make sure you're going to be doing this slow so you can pay attention to things like where are my toes pointing, where are my hands, stuff like that. I'm sorry about that car, that was really loud. Yeah, so 5 slow side kicks, and then we are going to be doing 5 push-ups, and then 5 sit-ups, and then we're going to do it on the other leg. So if we start off with this leg, we're going to be doing 5 side kicks on the other leg, and then we're going to repeat 5 push-ups, 5 sit-ups. Okay, so let's start. While we're doing this, I am going to be talking about our physical and mental goal, which is honesty and accuracy. Let's see if I can count while I talk. So, as we're talking about this, accuracy is doing something right. So, now we're going to move on to push-ups. So, accuracy is doing something correctly. So, you want to be able to push yourself and think about details that would improve your side kicks, your push-ups, your sit-ups, so that you can get better every single time, so that you get more correct every single time, and you get closer to being accurate. So things like crossing your arms instead of swinging your arms to do a sit-up, because that would make it a lot easier. Things like keeping your chin up in a push-up so that you have that more airflow, stuff like that. Things like pulling your leg all the way back for a side kick, because that gives you the most rotation, which also gives you the most power. Things like that help to do things more accurate and get even more accurate so that you can get to that goal, which also leads to things like applying this to basketball or volleyball or tennis or something like that. You can think about how one thing can lead to the next in that kind of sport. So something like volleyball. So there's 3 types of hits. There's a bump, set, spike. You can think about where you're hitting it and see how you get power from that hit and see if you can apply those kind of hits to the other hits. So I don't really know a lot about volleyball, but I know the bump and the set both come from your knees. So you bump and you get power from your knees, and the set, same thing. You bend your knees and you push up. So if you guys weren't doing that for volleyball, then you would be being less correct and using less correct technique, which would constrict your progress. So doing something and actually practicing and seeing your details and seeing how you get power would elevate your accuracy and help you get better, which is the same thing for karate or basketball or anything. In fact, you can do this with anything. So don't just think about this as a karate thing. Think about this as everything. So accuracy, it can go with everything. It could go with piano, it can go with basketball, like volleyball. Yeah, that's all I have to say about accuracy. Just try and get things more correct by looking at details and asking questions. And also apply this to everything. Don't just apply it to karate. Apply it to math. So something like 2 + 2 is 4, and now I want to apply that to multiplication. So because I did that twice, that means anything times 2 is itself plus itself. Something like that. I don't know how to explain things like that. But yeah, you can apply this to math, but I don't really know how to explain it in math terms. But yeah, you can use this with everything. So that was accuracy and our warm-up. So now I'm just going to give you a time to stretch while I talk. I think I counted correctly. If I didn't, sorry. You guys continue on. But yeah, so time to stretch while I talk about honesty. So honesty, as I was saying, is telling the truth even if you don't really want to. So like if you get in trouble or if you cheated on a test or something like that. If you tell the truth, the teacher, your parents, the principal, whoever you're telling the truth to might believe you more. So if you do break something in the house or if you do cheat on the test, maybe if you tell the truth and you don't lie about it, the teacher, the parent, whoever, they can start thinking, he didn't lie about this even though he did it. Maybe next time, if I think he's cheating or if I think he's gonna break something in the house and he tells me he didn't, maybe, just maybe, he's telling the truth again, and maybe I found out that he's doing the right thing instead of the wrong thing. Something like that. That was really bad at explaining it, but basically what I'm saying is, if you tell the truth now when you're doing something bad, if they accuse you of doing something wrong when you didn't do that thing wrong, you can tell the truth and they'll believe you. So yeah, that's honesty. You want to be honest and tell the truth because you don't want people to lose trust in you and blame blame you for things, and you not being able to explain yourself or defend yourself because they'll think you're lying. Things like that. Yeah, so that is the basic spiel about honesty. It's about accuracy. So now we are just going to move on to our I don't want trouble. So this is going to be the second half of our I don't want trouble. So first we are going to do the feet together I don't want trouble. Yeah, so pretty simple enough. Then we get into our guard stance. So make sure that you have that toe heel line. Making sure that your toe and your heel is in one line with your target, so that you have the correct stance, so that you're more accurate, focusing on those details. Like I've said in the first cycle of this quarantine thing, making sure that you have that toe heel line so that you don't really have any trouble or problems. After that, you are going to be doing a slide up. So same deal. As I was saying earlier, you want to do this correctly. It's pretty simple, but you might do this incorrectly if you are thinking about it. I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong guard stance. Okay, so I apologize. So you're in your right guard stance. Yeah, you're in your right guard stance. You take your back leg, you slide up, your back toes are pointing towards the back wall. Now, after that, you are going to take your front leg, you are going to do that side kick chamber like we were doing earlier. Kicking out, back, down. So making sure that you have all four parts like we've been practicing on those drills. If you need more practice on all four parts, keep on doing those. Make sure you are doing those slowly, because number one, it works out your obliques, which helps you kick higher and have more balance for kicks, while also practicing every four part of the side kick. So up, out, back, down. So as I was saying, you go slide up, you do a side kick, and then you do a back fist and twist and punch. So that's basically your I don't want trouble. Things that I would say to improve on this I don't want trouble is just basically do it. You have to be able to do every individual part and then combine it. So if you're really struggling on this I don't want trouble part, maybe you could practice half an hour of side kicks and slide up side kicks, and then take a break, maybe 1 day, 2 days. I don't know, it's your life. I don't know what you're doing. So yeah, so half an hour, and then maybe tomorrow or the day after that, or even an hour later after you do the side kicks, you could practice your back fist. So you could run around, and then you could play basically musical chairs, but with back fist. So playing by yourself, you could play music on your own, and then have random breaks in between where you just go up to a pillow or go up to a bed or something that's really soft and you won't break, and you just do a back fist, and then another half hour of that, or however long you want, and then take a day break, or do it an hour later, or do it whenever you feel like your break is done and you're done focusing on back fist, and you just do twist and punch. You can do the same thing, musical chairs, but with twist and punch, things like that. Maybe you can have a big bouncy ball and someone's throwing it at you, and you're trying to aim your twist and punch at wherever they're throwing it at you. Yeah. And then you take a break from that and combine it all together. So you do a slide up side kick, back fist, twist and punch. Simple as that. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Bye.